Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Taquin, and today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to talk about an SMG that I've been using in PvP that I have just been absolutely loving. In my opinion, it's a hardcore hidden gem in Crucible at the moment. So I wanted to bring some attention to it because I haven't really seen any videos on it either, and just sort of talk about why I love it so much. Really quickly before I start the video though, I want to apologize on behalf of my capture card's fault. It basically decided to go on an acid trip when I recorded some of these clips for this video. So if there's random quality drops in the footage, I apologize for that. And also if the audio sounds like really low quality at times, that was just a random thing that happened. And I've since fixed it. I'm not sure why it started in the first place, but it is fixed. So I apologize about that as well. Anyways, getting back to the topic at hand, today I'm going to be talking about the Death Adder Veist submachine gun. In the hours and hours and hours of Crucible I have played since Destiny 2 came out, I have never been killed by this weapon once. In my opinion, it's probably the most rare legendary in Crucible at the moment. I'm not kidding when I say I have not seen a singular other person use this in the Crucible that I remember. So it is an incredibly rare gun. And that's because I'm pretty sure there's only like 1 or 2 ways of getting it. The way I got mine was I got it from a luminous engram from Cade 6 after completing a challenge, and I think it was the first or second week of Destiny 2's launch. So you can get it from a luminous engram by completing like flashpoint challenges, I think. And another avenue, which I've heard from another person's video on this weapon, I'll put a link to their video in the description box below. Take this with a grain of salt. But he said that you could also potentially get it as a super rare drop from that really weird scientist guy on IO. Crap, what's his name? Pass the beer? No. Grab her rear? No, that wasn't it. Asher Mir, that's right. Asher Mir, the IO vendor. You apparently can get it as a super rare drop from that dude. But that is not confirmed. Take that with a grain of salt. If you guys do have this SMG, it would be great if you could comment down below how you got it, because I would love to know so I can update the description of this video with methods on actually how to acquire this SMG, because I never see it, and it is a super fun weapon to use. And why I'm making a video on it is because it is so fun to use, and if people don't get to use it, that's really unfortunate. Alright guys, so to start off, I'm going to go ahead and just read its perks. It's got a lightweight frame, superb handling, move faster with this weapon equipped. I have actually noticed this a lot. My movement speed will noticeably increase when I take this weapon out. I'd never really thought about it before, but now that I realize that it has a lightweight frame, I can definitely tell the difference, which is always nice to have on an SMG because you're trying to get up close and personal. We've got small bore, hammer forged rifling, and corkscrew rifling. I spec hammer forged because I try to go maximum range on SMGs, because that's always where SMGs are going to fall short, is the range. Steady rounds and armor piercing rounds. Steady rounds obviously, you know, increase the stability, and armor piercing rounds, which cause extra damage to combatants, shields, and overpenetrate targets, and it slightly increases range, but in this case, it increases the range a fair amount. And then of course, Hipfire Grip, which is one of the reasons why I love this SMG so much. Ergonomic grip that increases accuracy and stability when firing from the hip. So basically what I run on this is maximum range. You know, steady rounds would be nice. The recoil does get a little out of hand on this weapon at times, but I found that the more I use it, the more I sort of have an understanding on the recoil pattern, and honestly it becomes an issue less and less the more I use the Death Adder. So I spec armor piercing rounds, hipfire, well obviously because you can't change that perk, and hammer forged rifling just for like the maximum amount of range. You could try out small bore, which gives you a slight boost to stability with a very slight reduction in range. This might actually be the best option, but just all the clips that you're seeing on screen, I've been specking hammer forged, armor piercing rounds, and you know, obviously hipfire grip. So why do I like this weapon? Well, for some reason, Hipfire Grip on this SMG feels way more effective than it does on other SMGs, and I don't really know why. The hipfire feels way more accurate and way more reliable than others, and I really enjoy that because getting super up close and personal with SMGs, hip firing is always going to be the best option if you're super close to someone. So it's great for getting super up close, and what I find works really well is I'm always being super aggressive with this SMG, and I'll start off by hip firing. You know, as soon as I acquire a target, I'll hip fire to start out, and then scope in to finish them off. Bottom line is it's way easier to actually aim at people who are super close at you by hip firing versus scoping in. So that's why I really love the hip fire on this weapon. Another reason I like it is it seems to have really sick range. Obviously, it's not going to be as far as the Antiope, at least not from what I've seen. I don't actually have the Antiope, and I've been using this instead. That's another point I wanted to hit on. I've been using this instead of the Antiope, well, because one, I don't have it yet, but two, I routinely outplay people who are using the Antiope while using the Death Adder. Now, while that may be because of movement mainly, I've just been super comfortable with it. It performs really nicely. I'm really comfortable with this weapon. I've been using it for a while now, so it's pretty much my go-to SMG. I haven't gotten rid of it like others that I've used. I've used the Iron Banner SMG. I made a video on that. I don't like it as much as the Death Adder. Like I was saying a bit earlier, though, the recoil on this SMG, if you do run these perks, does take a bit to get used to. But honestly, at this point, I have a very good handling on exactly where it goes when it does recoil, and I generally don't have an issue with that. Apart from its performance, though, can we just take a second to talk about how, oh my god, this gun looks freaking amazing? That didn't make any grammatical sense, but don't worry about it. With this Avalon teal shader on, it just looks so sexy. Here, we'll look at it without the shader on. You can see what it looks like by default. It's kind of interesting. I like this sort of cream color, but then you've got just like a banana flavored magazine clip here, which looks kind of goofy to me, but anyway, I like it with the Avalon teal shader. It just looks honestly super next level. Boom, there we go. It's back on. Overall, though, I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts on the Death Adder. One, it's super rare. I haven't seen pretty much anyone using this weapon in the Crucible. Two, it performs really well. It's super fun to use. And three, it's basically just a fresh weapon to use. A lot of why people get burnt out with Destiny in terms of PvP is that everyone automatically defaults to the best possible options, aka the Antiope D. Would I rank this up next to the Antiope? No, I definitely would not. But like I was saying, it freshens up your loadout. It's a very solid SMG option, and it really mixes things up. This is just a general tip for anyone out there who's feeling burnt out with PvP or just bored in general. Switch up your loadout, man. Even if something seems super unconventional and like if it's terrible, it's still fresh. Like just trying out new weapons all the time is how you continue to have fun in Crucible if things are getting a bit boring. So anyway, that's going to basically wrap up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you get this weapon, let me know in the comment section below. One, do you like it? Do you dislike it? And why? And two, exactly how you got the weapon, because I'll be updating the description with that information as you guys let me know if you do have it. But anyways, I'm going to let the rest of the gameplay roll, and you can kind of see some more plays I got with it. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.
I see you, I see hope for tomorrow.